All right. Hey. I want to just take a moment and welcome everybody out there to our Wednesday Mindset Minutes. You may be recognizing that we're on at a different time, and this going forward will be our regular Wednesday time. So, depending on what time zone you're in here in the US, it'll be 11 Pacific, 12 Mountain, 1 Central, and 2 Eastern. My name's Joan Robison, and I help network marketing women ignite their inner brilliance so they can attract and develop leaders through strategy and duplication. Wow, that's a mouthful. But when I was developing that, it was something that really I worked hard to come up with just in a short little phrase. What do I really do when it comes to my brand and really working hard to support leaders in leadership? So I want to just take a moment, and we've got our special guest, industry leader, Megan Miles. And I am thrilled to have Megan here today. She's going to share just a little bit about her story and her own journey. And I know that you're going to be really thrilled to hear from Megan. She's got tons of great insight and information that she's going to share with you today. But before we dig into our topic, I just want to say hello to all of you out there. And if you're watching, go ahead and let us know in the comments where you're watching from. Where are you tuning in from? And we'll just take a minute. Hey, Sophie. I see Sophie and a couple other people. And unfortunately, I don't see exactly who is out there because I'm on StreamYard, but I definitely go back through all of these comments at the end, and I'll do my best to keep up as we continue throughout the next probably 30 minutes here. So where are you tuning in from? We got California. Thank you. Liking my glasses. You know, at the reader stage here, you've got to have some wares, right? Some fun. I like fun. So these are my fun glasses. All right, where else we got? We got Ohio, we've got North Dakota. Awesome. So I want you to continue dropping where you're from in the comments, and I'll prompt you a few more times throughout the rest of this live because I'm going to be giving away, and I'm super excited about this, a deck of my Ignite the Light cards. And I also want you guys to know out there that starting tomorrow, I got these finally in from China, the box and everything. There's 2 sets of Ignite the Light cards so that you can enjoy flipping the switch at any time. But we're going to be offering a sale tomorrow. So they're going to be 50% off for the weekend. So I just want to encourage you to grab your deck of cards. It's great. It's a great gift as well. So Megan. So thrilled that you're here. We just got off a wonderful trip to Punta Cana, and I know we had a lot of fun, you and I, coming in a day early and all that. And we even have a few stories that we'll save for another live. But I would love to have you share a little bit about your journey in network marketing and, you know, really just your journey evolving as a leader. So take it away.
Yeah. Hey, what's up, everybody? My name is Megan Lee Miles, and I am really excited to be here. Thanks, Joan, for having me on today. This is a topic that I hold very close to my heart because, you know, I've been in the industry for just about 10 years now. Super fortunate to have been working side by side with Joan Robison for the last 5 years. And it's funny, the first 5 years in my experience in the industry, it was like, have you ever just like been trying to like go outside, but you find yourself like walking through a screen door? Like, you know, you're just like, you're trying to go somewhere, but there's like a door and you didn't realize it. And you're just like, maybe you're hitting your head against the wall. Like, why is this not working? And you know, for me personally, what the missing gap was a mentor. And so finding a mentor that could help guide me. But what's funny is in the first 5 years of the industry, I was the person who, I was so coachable. Like they could tell me to jump off a cliff and I may have done it. But I was like all in, and literally we had events every quarter. I was dedicated to my business, to learning, shall I say. I wasn't as consistent though. But what I found was at every event, I would always get stopped and people would like want to take pictures with me. It was the weirdest thing because they thought I was like a certain rank. It was so funny. And in my first company, I never actually even hit like the first basic core leadership level. I had someone on my team who did, right? But I personally never hit that. And what I found out was people just thought because I was always talking, I was always sharing what they were saying from stage, I was presenting at, opportunity events, I was sharing my story. I was just doing those things over and over and leading by example, right? And not by rank. And so today, now I have a lot of people that actually come to me asking like, hey, I'd like to work with you because they knew me back then. Right. And so I'm excited to dive into this because I think a lot of times, we think, oh, well, I'm not a certain rank. So, I don't need to do that, or it's not my responsibility, or, I can't do that. Like leadership isn't based on rank. It's based on, your influence, your execution, your consistency, the presence that you give, and the example that you set. Right. So I'm excited to dive in today. And thanks for having me on here today, Joan.
Oh, well, I'm thrilled to have you here. And yeah, so today we're going to be talking about a subject that I kind of made fun of it a little bit, but in developing the subject, I think I wrote, silly girl, your rank doesn't make you a leader. And I think that if we've never been in network marketing before, all of this rank business is really highly recognized. And don't get me wrong, it should be for many reasons, but I want to make a really bold statement that your rank is established from your company's comp plan, right? So your rank determines your pay. And sometimes within companies, depending on the rank, they request you be responsible for certain things, but it does not determine your ability to lead. So I'm going to say that one more time. You could be a double diamond, black digit, whatever the heck it could be. It does not determine your ability to lead. And I think that I could make fun of it in a little certain sort of way, but also let me be a little sensitive to it. There's many people that start off following their company's success plan and boom, they grow this team. They get to these levels and quite honestly, they don't know what to do. And I don't know if it's you, so put a heart in the comments if you can relate, because I know when I was just starting, I got to certain levels of leadership and I thought, should I be doing more? Am I doing enough? And I questioned my abilities to lead. So if that's you, drop a heart in the comments. Let us know that you felt that way too. I want to really talk about, though, not so much what rank isn't. I'd really like to talk more about what leading is. And I just jotted down 3 things because leading is really comprised of a whole lot of things, right? But there's 3 things I think that really stood out or that I want to talk about today. And the first thing is really going to work on yourself. I remember being in my young 30s and, beginning my network marketing business with a whole lot of fear, with a whole lot of, geez, I've never done that before. And it was quite opposite of being in a retail type management position. Number one, we don't work for anybody, right? We are our own entities. We are independent contractors. So nobody's going to make you show up. Nobody's going to come to you and say, you're not doing this, we can't give you a paycheck. It doesn't work like that. You're independent of the company. So a lot of times, even that transition from being maybe a manager or leading as an employee, coming over to a business like this can be extremely challenging. And people are unsure of, gosh, do I do this here? Do I not? So let's demystify a few of these things. So going to work on yourself and developing your interpersonal skills is probably something that many of you are doing, but I wonder, at what level are you doing it? So Megan, you impressed me right away when I met you. And I think I've known you for, I don't know how long now, but certainly we worked together very closely for the last 5 years. But you right away had already had some direct selling experience, and you saw the value of going to work on yourself. So I'd love for you to share with the group a little bit about what are some of the things you do and what have you noticed growth-wise?
Yeah. So I think that, if we're not growing, we're rotting, right? Isn't that the phrase? And so
Not growing, we're dying, but rotting, that's probably right too.
like an apple, right? Like it's like you're either growing or you're rotting. And for me, I got involved in this industry at 21 years old, and I literally was like exposed to all of this amazing personal development, like Jim Rohn, Tony Robbins, Zig Ziglar, like from a pretty young age, And so I started to work on myself and my dysfunctional side, shall I say, of my personal growth. And I got to a place, though, a few years ago where I kind of became kind of stagnant. And I was kind of like, oh, well, now I'm successful in the business. Like, I don't really need to do all that. And it was a very humbling moment because as my business grew, other parts of my life fell. And so what I realized is it's something that is a constant need. And I'm constantly working on myself in different ways, whether it's my health or my mindset or but especially around personal development. And so when I wake up, actually, like I keep my AirPods on or AirPods next to my nightstand. So the second my feet hit the ground, they go in my ear and I put something on. I have like a playlist that's set and I just put something on because I know I need to get that good learning and energy into me so that I can like create that domino effect in my day and continue to grow myself rather than like rot, right? Or die.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's important to always be, no matter what rank or leadership title or what position, to always humble ourselves to know I can always get better. I can always learn. Like it's an never ending process.
Right. Well, I love that you shared that because it is, I mean, we're evolving, right? Or we're shrinking or we're dying. And I think that when you're in a business like this, I've never been in any other type of position that has really, I'm going to use this word, forced me to grow, really forced me to take a really good hard look at myself and identify some of the things that might have first been holding me back and like kind of cut it away, almost like weeding a garden. It's like, the garden can't produce the good fruit if there's so many weeds and, different branches or whatever interfering with the growth of the new fruit, let's say. So for me, and I don't know about you guys out there, personally, my interpersonal things, I had to first look at what wasn't serving me that I might be taking part in or doing that would hinder my ability to develop people, to develop a team. Mm-hmm. And I mean, gosh, many of you know that have read my book, Flip the Switch. And if you haven't, by the way, I'll drop that in the comments, a link for the book. But one of the things that I identified in my young 30s was I needed to give up drinking. Literally for me, I love to have a good time. And that was diminishing my self-esteem because of some of the things that I would do that didn't, really align with my true nature. So I don't know what that is for you. Could be something small that maybe you watch too much TV, maybe you're scrolling and wasting a whole lot of time. But many of you have full-time other jobs like I did when I first started. And I had to be really productive in the time that I had if I was going to claim the success that I wanted. So I want to also give you a couple things when it comes to, Megan mentioned waking up in the morning. See, for me, when I first started the business, I had a son that was 6 years old. I had a full-time other job, and I was going to balance my new network marketing business. I knew it was going to be a lot, but I also knew that my goal was eventually to leave my full-time job so that I could be at home. That was my goal. So I needed to be really mindful of how I structured my time, and things had to work for me that were simple, easy to do, and that I could feel accomplished. So for me, waking up in the morning, oftentimes I would, just right away, and I still do this when my feet hit the floor, I always say, who can I help today? Right? So I get myself into a service mindset. Who can I help today? Whether I'm prospecting, whether I'm following up, whether I'm working with a leader, any part of my business, if I can focus on service, I'm winning. So that would be one of the first things. Let's go to number 2. Number 2 that I have here is communicating and connecting. And I think, again, with all of the systems, and boy, if you know Megan and I, we talk about duplication, we talk about systems and strategy a ton. But I want to also make you guys aware that those are head skills. They're in their head. They don't really honor the heart and connection piece. So as a leader, in my opinion, you have to find that balance of heart and head and align the two. So communicating is a head skill. I'm going to deliver information to my team or to the people that I'm working with. But connecting is stuff that is done from the heart. Hey, how are you? Finding out and keeping a pulse on how your people are doing. And there's all different kinds of ways that we connect. Megan, what are some of the ways that you would suggest to the people listening out there about connecting and how to do it in an efficient way so that people aren't spending 4 and 5 hours a day on the phone just connecting? What would you say to that busy person?
Yeah, well, I mean, you can almost like organize it into your daily method of operations, right? Like, and it could be as simple as, daily checking in, like personally, daily checking in with your new people, because you're new people like every day. Like you can't go a week waiting to connect with someone who just got started in your business, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like for the first 90 days, this should be daily touches, definitely. Some days might be longer. Some days literally might just be, hey, how are you? I'm just checking in. People like to feel, oh, I'm supported. They're watching me, right? When people feel like, oh, no one really is reaching out, or they're not talking to me, or they don't care, like they feel like no one cares. So why would they go build their business? But when people know, oh, this person cares how I am, and they're watching me, like I better stir some stuff up, right? I better be in action. But, I also know, having had a large organization, you may not have the time also to talk to every person.
Right.
Something like I really like to do is weekly. I like to call the people birthdays. So I have, I pull the Excel sheet, and every week I call people in the organization, or sometimes I'll just send a voice message to them. It just kind of depends what season you're in, right? But people need especially that voice connection, because that's the transfer of energy and excitement and urgency that people need. And you'd be so surprised how one quick, like 5-minute phone call can change the game for that person and you and your business too. Because they'll be much more likely to actually pick up and re-engage maybe. So don't forget about the people too who like haven't been doing anything, because they're a part of your organization too. They joined for a reason, right? And so focus on connecting first, and just having organic conversations. Like, it's not something that's scripted, like it's genuine, and if you don't have a relationship, build it.
Right. Well, I like that. And I think too, for some of you that are maybe looking for strategic ways to connect, I've got a couple ideas that may support that. Number one, always, always, always be at all your company sponsored events. And I know Megan knows that, she learned that before she ever started working with me. And that is a way. So your incentive trips, if you're a leader, you got to be on the trip. Your conventions, if you're a leader, you're attending every convention, no matter what. It is part of your job, and you don't want to be out of town or not showing up for your team there. If you are a leader, you are at the leadership event. I mean, there's 3 things in a given year that will completely change your business when it comes to connecting with the people that truly are engaged, because those are the people that are at those things that I just shared. Okay, so there's that. Write that down if you don't have it, and share it with your teams. You have people that are developing as leaders. They got to know this stuff, guys. Now, are they an employee and they have to be there because you said so? No. We want to, share with them. The most successful leaders are attending their company conventions. The most successful leaders are at every company sponsored event. That's a way of saying it without saying, if you're not there, you're fired, because that doesn't work either.
And can I add one thing, Joan?
Please.
You just brought something up too, is the truth of it is people come into this business for the money, but they stay for the community.
I love that.
So whether it's the company events, it's the Zoom calls, it's the quick connections, like they stay for the community, because that is something that people always want to feel a part of something. And if you can help your people feel a part of the team, like that's just, you will always, always win. Always.
Yeah. Agreed. Okay, couple more things. Some of you are probably like, Joan, there's one of me and I have a team of 25, 100, 5,000. So let me help you kind of, again, strategically look at how you connect with those people. So you would probably, if you worked with me, hear me talk a lot about developing your key people. Okay, so the first, I'm going to share with this one first. It's not an order of importance necessarily, because I'm going to tell you who the most important person in the room is in just 1 second, but you are going to partner with the key people that you're developing and you're supporting to help move up the ranks. How do you know who they are? Because you asked them, because they told you, I want to get to blank. It's my dream to retire my husband. It's my dream to build the house in Italy. Whatever it is, those people, you are going to want to have a very strong connection with them, more than just text messaging, right? Okay. Second group of people is the emerging leader. So those key people are people that are, just they're mid-level to upper level leaders. That's a better way to say it. Key people. Okay. Those are people that are driving your lines and they're developing their leaders and so forth. The emerging leader is somebody that hits that first leadership rank within your company. I'm going to just say, for the sake of using a term, it would be like a team leader or, some kind of like director. Okay. Whatever your company recognizes as that first level of leadership, that is an emerging leader. Okay, so now we've got the key people, the more evolved leader, the emerging leader, and the most important person in the room is always the new person. Now, I love, Rob Sperry describes it as a new person joining your team. It's as if they're on life support. If you can think of it like that, not that you're going to be a babysitter, not that you're doing everything for them, but that they need you to partner with them. It's not hand-holding, it's I'm partnering with you. They know that you're there to support them, that they've got a weekly, call with you or a weekly time that you both have agreed upon, and that they can message you quick questions, but that you're helping them get started and you're setting them up for success. That's the job of the person that sponsors them. All right. So I'm going to real quick, we connect with our key people, more of those leaders that are developing their own leaders. We connect with emerging leaders and help them emerge, move up the ranks, and we connect with brand new people. Now, you're probably going like, well, but 80% of your team may not be any of those. I mean, technically, I guess the new people are in there, and here's the deal. This is why you show up at conventions. This is why you show up and you're wherever these company sponsored events are. This is why you show up to trainings, right? So I love to say, I love everybody on my team. I'm going to be nice and kind to everyone, but this is a business, right? So all of you that are really heavy in the heart, like you're way over in the heart and you're like, but Joan, you've got to remember that we can't get our business done if we're only in our hearts, right? You've got to have the balance, like I said at the beginning, of head and heart. You have to have the kindness and the care, compassion, but you've got to also have some skills. And the skills really are just the business basics, and you'll learn as you go. So as you lean into everything, you'll continue to develop and emerge your own leadership skills. The majority of leaders are learning by, I'm going to try this, see what happens. And then they come back and go, yeah, that went well, or that didn't go well. Here's what I'll tweak. So that was a lot for there, but I hope that really helps you realize you are not somebody, you're one person, right? And so we have to be efficient, as well as we've got to be leaders that are connecting and caring for our teams. And I would also say this, that when times are tough, like right now, or maybe just even in one of your people's lives, be there for them and don't leave them, because that is truly, in my opinion, and Megan mentioned it, why most people stay. They stay because they know that they're valued and cared for, and that they can depend on the leader, now watch, to support them, not do it for them. Nobody here is responsible for anyone else's outcome, which is going to lead me to the third thing, which is lead by example. Now, you probably hear that over and over, but what does that really look like? In my opinion, the best thing a leader can do is work her company's success plan. So it doesn't matter at whatever level you are. You certainly don't want to turn into one of those leaders that goes into management mode and you can't even help your people recruit because you're not recruiting at all anymore. All people in network marketing have ebbs and flows. So this isn't also something where I'm trying to make somebody feel bad if you're not recruiting right now. I've had some rough months myself, okay? But it is the goal to be the example by doing what you want your team to do. Because here's a question that I ask a lot, and I ask myself. If people were doing what I did, would I still be winning? Would my team still be successful? And if I cannot answer that with a yes, then I have to tweak or change what I'm doing, because I'm probably not spending my time in the right places to actually grow and build a business. So I want to make one more comment, and then Megan, I want to hear from you about leading by example. And I know you've got a nice little freebie that you're going to share as well. So when we talk about leading by example, I want to say this. You only have to answer to you. So we can try and please people all day long, but I want you to know you're never going to please everybody. So I know there's people that are admitted people pleasers, and they're getting better at being forthright and strengthened within their own self. But here's what I feel has helped me with that kind of thing. I often have said one of my best strengths, or something I have a strength in, is communicating and connecting. Okay. But it's also one of my biggest opportunities because there's a lot of people there, right? So how do you really determine, am I doing a good job? Well, when your head hits the pillow at night, if you've made a difference in somebody's life, you're doing a good job. And you can't be everything to everybody. So the best thing to do is know that you personally are doing the things that you would want a leader to do for you, right? So, leaders are empowering people. They're not enabling people. They're not doing it for them. They're helping people grow within their own skill set, right? Like I said at the beginning, I'm helping people ignite their own inner brilliance. It's not about me, doing everything or making everybody happy. It's making decisions that are for the greater good of the entire organization. And this is why I have always kept coaches around me and people that are stronger than me in certain areas, so that I don't ever forget who I am and what areas I'm continuing to evolve in. So, Megs, when it comes to leading by example, what are some of the things you can share with the group? And yeah, tell us a little bit about something you developed, I know, for your team. Take it away.
Yeah. So, I think that leading by example is really about figuring out, like, what is the daily activity that you need to do every day to move the needle in your business every day, just a little bit, right? And I know for me, I'm going to give you in a second, I developed this kind of, I call it my 1 hour workday checklist. It's been like showing up on social media. So, if you're not showing up on social media, like, your team probably isn't, And so your team is always watching you, right? And so they're seeing what you're doing for sure, whether you're doing something or you're not, right? But I've always, since I started building on social media, I've made a commitment to show up daily on social media. And I've done that. And I developed a checklist because I'm the type of person who, I'm so squirrely. I'm like, that I needed to like compile, what are all the things I need to do every day to make sure to show up for my team, for my customers, etc. And so it became this kind of 1 hour workday checklist, because most people who come in the industry, they only have an hour a day, right? They can't do an 8 hour checklist or a 4 hour checklist. And so it's something super simple that anyone can follow. And so over the last almost 2 years, I mean, we've done it, like, I've done it 6 days out of every week. Now, my assistant does about 80% of it now, right? But I know I've been consistent in that, right? Because it's a super simple system. And so I'm going to give you this gift. You can actually go to www.onehourworkdaychecklist.com. I'm going to put it in the comments in just a second. And I'm also going to put my top social media engagement post to boost your algorithm. So you can share these with your teams. I hope that these add value to you. And first off, I'm curious, if you're currently building on social media, I want you to drop a 1 in the comments. Okay. If you're currently using social media to grow your business, drop a 1. Now, if you're someone who you're more of a content consumer and you're like, I don't even know what it means to make content, I want you to drop a 2 in the comments. If you're like, I don't even know what I should be posting, because I definitely want to make sure to get you my top engaging post that will help you literally 10 times your algorithm overnight. I mean, it's crazy. I've had people who literally only get like 5 comments per post who got like 50, 100, 250 comments on some of the top posts that I created and I put in this free guide. So, it's so important. Like, it doesn't matter your rank, right? Your team is watching you. So, your rank matters, right, to an extent, but more importantly, people are watching the activity that you're doing and how you're showing up as their leader.
Mm-hmm. Well, I love that. And I know, Megan, both of those items that she talked about certainly are time-saving things. So yeah, definitely grab those. I want to just take a moment, and if you've not yet joined my Flip the Switch community, you're listening on the outside, the link to join the group will be right there in the comments. So be sure to join so that you don't miss out on trainings, exclusive offers, and we're also going to be doing, like I said, some holiday Black Friday specials, some different things to support you in your leadership development. And again, I've gotten a lot of feedback from the different posts that we've put around what you want more of. So I'm going to be continuing to develop content around that. But yeah, if you're not in, go ahead and click on that link to get in the group, and we'll get you right in. And the last thing I want to share is I'm going to do a drawing here for the box of cards. So right now, today, I want to congratulate Erica Howell. Congratulations. You get the box of Ignite the Light cards. So Erica, I also drew a quick card, and I will just share this card. You guys, I don't think can see it, but when emotions are high, logic is low. I remember this principle. I remind myself of the choices I have to see the situation more clearly. I can pause. I could even sleep on it to allow my emotions a chance to dissipate. I can more clearly revisit challenges and conversations when my heart and mind are well rested. Flip the switch to take control over your emotions and personal power. So think about that just for a moment. Let's say you've got a challenge within your team and you're not sure how to proceed forward. That's where, if you are in an emotional state, it's not good to make any kind of decision. So take a moment for yourself, regroup, sleep on it if you need to before you go and make a decision. But I think that will truly help you, and it will also help people within your team. You'll be able to revisit with a fresh mind. So again, Ignite the Light cards. Congratulations, Erica. That's super fun for you. You're going to enjoy those. All right. So guys, as we leave, I just want you to be thinking right now about a few things. What is it that you need to do in order to grow yourself as a leader? Maybe just take one thing. What is it that you need to do to grow yourself as a leader? If we look at, our whole to-do list for a week, things can seem overwhelming. I get that. I mean, it happens with me too. So don't underestimate drawing one card. That's growing yourself. Don't underestimate writing a few affirmations and taking a few minutes to repeat those. Don't underestimate reading a page or two in a leadership book or in any kind of personal growth book, because it all counts. And over time, what you will see, like I have and Megan has, is you'll start seeing yourself emerge a more strengthened leader. Because if you have one person on your team you're leading that person. And you have every opportunity every single day to continue to evolve in your own skill set. So I just want to say thanks again, Megs, for joining. I really appreciate it. And everybody have a fantastic rest of your week. Bye-bye.
Everyone.